Choices, chances, and consequences. The decisions that you make or don't make, they're gonna affect your future.
Hey yo, T-Mac, get in, bro. Step up, don't be scared.
Pass that.
We want to thank Troop 491 for serving as ushers this morning and give honor to God for these young men who want to spend their time being constructive. Far too many of our young people are out there doing the wrong thing, out there on the streets, committing crimes and doing drugs.
What you doing back there?
I'm gonna sign you up for the Scouts.
I don't want to be no stupid scout.
Welcome to Troop 491's annual open house.
Attention.
Scouts, that's a good thing, right? Why are you thinking about quitting?
Bulldog Patrol. Screaming Eagles.
I'm just trying to keep my reputation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can dig it. Did they see your face?
Yeah,
What did your mom say?
I didn't tell her.
I'm inquiring about a murder that took place at the basketball court a few weeks ago. You know anything about that?
Tell me what you saw.
I saw the whole thing and I didn't do a thing.
What are your choices, son?
Why you hang with those lames?
If you speak up,
Some things meant to be kept quiet, you feel me?
chances are you'll be putting your mother and yourself in harm's way. But if you keep quiet,
Snitches get stitches and wind up in ditches.
you might be left alone.
If we ain't friends,
Maybe,
then you know what it is.
maybe not.
Peace and love, students. Good afternoon. I would like to say thank you to Mrs. Jones for the opportunity to speak with you all this afternoon. My name is Praheme, and I am born and raised in Richmond, Virginia, now living in Los Angeles, California, and I am a filmmaker. And what that means is that I write, direct, produce creative content that can be in the form of a narrative film, documentaries, short stories, pretty much all content. I am behind the scenes and responsible for creating the content. So if you're familiar with Tyler Perry, Spike Lee, or Quentin Tarantino, that's essentially what I do. I would have to say yes, filmmaking requires a lot of travel. For instance, my film, Troop 491, The Adventures of the Muddy Lions, in just the planning pre-production phase, we had to drive all around the city and various cities surrounding Richmond just to find all of our 22 locations that we needed for the film. Also, we were responsible for the travel and lodging for all of our actors and crew. So if anybody came from Atlanta or Los Angeles to come and work on the movie, we had to fly them out, and we also had to pay for their housing. Also, just to get the equipment when you're working on an independent film, you're trying to save money, so you'll buy things from different places. So we had to go to North Carolina to get some of our film equipment, and then also go down to Virginia Beach to pick up our camera. And then also at the very completion of the movie, once the movie was over and it's now time to show it, we did about 2 years of traveling through the film festival circuit and just hosting screenings in various communities. We traveled internationally. We had screenings in London. We had screenings in Trinidad and Tobago. I believe we screened in Los Angeles, San Francisco. We screened in Atlanta, Georgia. We screened in Richmond, Virginia. We screened in Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C., St. Louis, Maryland, Birmingham, Alabama, Tucson, Arizona, and like many cities in the Virginia and surrounding areas. So we screened this film and traveled all across this country, trying to share this film with the world. Okay, what I would say is the most challenging part about filmmaking is managing everybody's personalities. And so when you're the director or the leader of a company or organization, or let's say a specific film, then it's my job to try to get the best out of everybody. And you have to really know how to manage people. What gets the best out of one person may not be necessarily what's going to get the best out of the next person. And so I'm very fortunate that I was able to take like sociology classes and psychology classes while I was at Howard University, which I think kind of helped me learn how to work with people, how to manage personalities. But every day working on a film set, there's always a new problem with a new personality, and you just have to, figure it out as you go. And that's probably the most difficult is, having a set, having like hundreds to thousands of people all working for one common goal. Managing those personalities, I would say, would be the most difficult part for my job. I would say the most interesting component of my career would be just the act of storytelling and establishing a connection with my audience. And for me, just being able to make the audience feel something, that to me is the most special component for me. Whether I make you feel happy, sad, mad, or inspired, I feel like if I can make you feel something, then as an artist, then it's mission accomplished. Anything after that, of course I want to entertain you, but if I can make you feel something and stir up something inside of your spirit, then for me that's the greatest compliment as an artist, as a filmmaker, as a storyteller. And I feel good to be able to connect with an audience. I would definitely say education, just in general, is very important when it comes to filmmaking and storytelling. The more information you have, the more knowledge you have, the more your stories are going to be impactful. I would say courses such as creative writing, all of my film classes, of course, so film directing, film producing, film sound, film history. But courses outside of film that were really important to me were my creative writing courses, history courses, African American history courses, psychology, sociology. I was able to take photography classes. But what I would also just like to say that, everything in life I'm using as a classroom to teach me and just apply that to my skills as a filmmaker. So I'm learning from my human interactions with my peers, interactions from teachers, from my interactions in the church and school. Anywhere I'm going, I'm learning and I'm absorbing, and I'm using that in my own unique way in telling stories. I would also add like math classes, so you're able to count your money and your profits, making sure that you're not being manipulated. Okay, so as far as hours go to work, I actually work a full-time job in sales. So that's 40 hours a week plus that's 5 days a week, 8-hour shifts. And then when I get off of work, I'll probably do 2 to 4, maybe 6 hours of working on my craft and on my film, on my scripts, or if I have any other projects that are in the work. Then on my 2 off days, I would usually do about 6 to 8 hours of working on my craft of filmmaking on those days as well. So in total, I'm actually doing about 60 plus hours of working every week. And, for me, and I'll tell anybody, any craft, anything that you're working on, you need to be immersed in it. So, it's not a day that doesn't go by that I'm not putting some work or some energy towards my dreams and my passions and being a great filmmaker. And so whatever it is that you guys are doing, if you're not dedicating at least 25 minutes to an hour to it every day, then you really don't love it. Because I know, if you're playing basketball, football, you got a ball in your hand and, you're working that craft. So whatever it is that you want to do, you got to work your craft. You got to work your craft and be immersed in whatever it is. So yes, I would say my job heavily involves working with other people. The initial phase of me just writing, that is probably the only time that I'm not working with anybody else. So just while we're here and we're talking about filmmaking as a craft, let me just break down the 5 phases of filmmaking. And so you have your first phase is going to be development, which is like your writing, your editing, and finalizing the script process till it's smooth and ready to go into production. Your next phase is going to be pre-production, where you're doing all of your planning. You'll hire your actors, you'll get your crew together, you'll find all your locations, get your permits, everything that you need so that when it's time to actually shoot the production and actually make the film, you'll be ready to go. The third phase and the funnest phase and shortest phase is actually the production phase, which is when you capture the video and sound. And that's pretty much all that is. The fourth phase is going to be post-production, and that is when you edit the video and sound. You put those two together, you edit it together, and you create your final product. And then the fifth and final phase is going to be distribution. And so that is distribution exhibition, and that's when you screen the film for the masses. And so very, very early on, like I said, only when I'm writing out my initial ideas is when I'm doing something by myself. But in the editing process of just the script, I'm sending it out to, 10, 15 different friends that I trust. I'm getting feedback from them. I'll take some of their feedback. I may leave some of their feedback. But I'll edit my script maybe 10, 15 different times with those notes, with those ideas, with those thoughts. And then moving forward into that next phase, that's when I bring in a team of people together, producers, production designers, all the, maybe key level people to come on board and create a plan of how we're going to make this movie happen. And so it's getting everybody who's creatively involved on that same plan, so that when we go into phase 3 of production, we could just go in there and knock it out of the park. And so the phase 3 production, that's when you're bringing hundreds to thousands of people to come together and make this movie happen. Makeup, wardrobe, actors, all of these people come, we shoot it, then we go, once we captured everything, then we go into a small room and we edit everything together. And so that's me and one editor, but then we're going to go with another person and work on the sound. Then I'll go to another person and I'll go and find like musicians who can provide like real music. And then I may have to go get a score. And so all of these people is just ultimate adding on of relationships and one person coming in and helping and exchanging ideas. So yes, you cannot get away with working with people and making film. And so I think the better you are with communicating and expressing yourself, the better it is. So that's all that I have to share with you about my career as a filmmaker. I hope that this was informative. If you guys ever have any questions or would like to reach out to me directly, you can find me on social media. Praheme. I love talking to young people and just sharing what it is that I do. And hopefully when the next time you go see a movie, stay and watch the credits and see all of those various people who work to make a movie what it is. And you can find whatever passion, whatever job, whatever love that you have, you can find it in the film industry. So if you love doing hair, if you're good with accounting and doing numbers, if you like to coordinate fight scenes, if you just like to make up stuff and write in your wildest imagination, there's a place for you in the film industry. So I hope that you enjoy this presentation. And again, thank you all for listening. God bless you all. Peace.